Hello guys and welcome back. So in this video we're going to learn about curves. Okay, in the last video we learned how to use levels in a kind of advanced way. We saw some advanced tips and tricks, and yeah, so in this one we're going to learn advanced tips and tricks with curves. Now back to this image, I'm just going to hide my levels adjustment layer and go ahead and create a curves adjustment layer. So curves, perfect. Now the first thing we're going to look at is our auto, and of course you also know that for curves on the left hand side we have the darker parts of our image. Okay, so we can adjust the darker parts of our image on the left hand side, and so also the brighter parts of our image on the right hand side, right? So it means if we adjust this slider, the sliders on the ground here, we are going to be adjusting our dark parts. Okay, and we can hold down Alt once more to see the clipping. Okay, so we can basically see how we are losing details from our dark areas. Okay, and so also with this. So we can basically see how we are losing details from our bright areas as we hold down Alt and drag this part. So it means when we adjust here, we are adjusting the bright parts of our image, and when we adjust here, we are adjusting the dark parts of our image. Basically, that's basic curves, right? And of course, we have presets also. We have the negative, we have the cross process, we also have the darker, and so on and so forth. So you can just go and check these presets for yourself. I'm not going to go through all of them, okay? But we see that we're getting kind of good results here. I like this look. So this is before and this after. Now these are just presets. So go back to default, and now I'm just going to hold down Alt and click on my auto. Right away we have some auto enhancement. Okay, we have some auto enhancement, and of course again we can see the algorithms. We can see that this is the default, that's the auto brightness and contrast. We have this one which finds the dark and light colors, and we also have this one which enhances per channel contrast. Okay, and we also have this one which enhances monochromatic contrast. And just like we saw in curves, we can maybe choose this guy and go ahead and work on the shadows. Okay, maybe we can add a different color to the shadows to give it that look we are looking for. So in the previous video we added this particular color, this particular look to our shadows and our highlights. So basically we see that curves and levels are very similar. They are very similar, really, and people tend to compare them sometimes, levels versus curves, but really guys, you can do basically the same thing in levels and in curves. Okay, basically the same thing. There are a bit of differences, but basically the same thing. Okay, it all depends on which one you feel most comfortable with and which one does the work better for you. Okay, so basically just find the one that works best for you and just hit OK, and no, I don't want this to be default. And right now we see that it has adjusted all our channels. Okay, we have the red channel, and we see that we've done some adjustments on our red channel automatically. It's also with the green channel and blue channel. Go back to my auto, and of course we can also come in and do adjustments, okay, on our curves, just like this. So typically for curves it will either be something that looks like an S curve or Z curve most of the time. Okay, most of the time it will either look like an S curve or Z curve. So you see that this is looking more like would I call this a Z curve? More like a Z curve, yeah. It is looking more like a Z curve. Okay, that's this particular RGB channel. Now that's it for this particular image. Now let's go to this particular image. Okay, now let's go ahead and add our levels, or rather our curves. So add my curves, and I'll just disable my levels or hide my levels. And now we have this particular guy. Now just hover on it and you're going to see some explanation. That's click and drag in image to modify the curve. Now if you click on this button and then come into the image, this button enables us to kind of target specific colors okay, of specific looks on our image and edit the curve based on those looks. Okay, now if we come here and select this particular place, now we see that this is green, right? So it's going to adjust our curves based on our selection, okay, or based on the particular place where we have sampled. Now we can do same with maybe a place like this, click and drag, and we can see that it's particularly targeting this color. Okay, so make it darker, we see that the color in particular is getting most darker. So you can basically use this to target certain looks, okay, certain colors in our image. So you can target the skin tones, and you can see how we are basically making adjustment to our skin tones using this trick. Now of course we can see how the adjustment is all happening in the curves, okay, in the curves, while we are basically just manually moving our mouse up or down. Okay, so you just have to click and move your mouse up or down, and it's gonna edit that particular color which you've selected. So we have our white here, right? So if I just click here and adjust this higher or down, we see that we are reducing the intensity of the white. Okay, you can make this brighter or less bright. We also have our white, gray and black balances. So it means we can, again, let me just hide my levels. So it means we can again select our white balance, click here, and it's going to make adjustments to our white. And so also with our black balance. Okay, so we can select black, click here, and it's going to make adjustments to our black automatically. Yeah, that's basically it for our curves and our levels. Now I'll just unhide my levels to see the look I get by combining my curves and my levels here. You see this is the look I get, and you can go ahead and maybe reduce the opacity for this. And this is what we had before, holding down Alt. This is what we had before, and this is what we had after our adjustment. Perfect. And finally, I'll just go into this image, this last image, and we've not make any adjustments on this image, right? So I'm just going to right now go ahead and add my levels and also my curves, and I'll just use some of the tips and tricks which we've learned from the last video and also in this video to make adjustments to my curves and my levels. Okay, so first of all, I'll start with the levels. So I'll just go ahead and click Alt. Sorry, while selecting my levels, click Alt and Auto, and I'll just now make some default adjustments, right? I'll just select this guy and go ahead and change my look a bit. Now I'll just play around to see some other looks I get. Okay, different from the default. So let me just select this guy so that we get this kind of warm look, right? So I think this is perfect. It's perfect. So hit OK. And then for my highlights, I don't think there is much change to do for the highlights. Okay, this is just okay, right? So hit OK, and no, this is before, this is after. So we can see that we've totally changed the feel of our image. So it's more of cool here. It has more of a cool tone, kind of a cool look. And after adding our levels, we kind of give it this warm look, right? Perfect. Now, of course, we can go ahead and even further add some details to our shadows and highlights. For highlights, I don't want the brightness to be too much, so I'll just keep it at a minimal. So maybe this will just be perfect. Okay, and I want to go into my separate channels. I'll just leave my levels like this, so I'm okay with what I've got here. And now I'll just go ahead and work on my curves. So I'll enable my curves and go ahead and click Alt. Okay, I'll hold down Alt and click Auto. That's to see my auto correction options. Let's see, do we have what we want to adjust here? I really don't have much to do on auto here. Okay, now what I'm going to explore more, this is my button here. Now I'm just going to click and then go into my image and make subtle adjustments targeting specific colors. Okay, so let's see his skin tone. So click and do this, and let me just zoom out and see. Not bad, but we can see that our image is really getting dark, right? So I don't want our image to be too dark, so I'll just make the skin tone brighter again. Okay, perfect. For my sky, we can see that we've lost a lot of details here. We've totally lost details here. We can't regain any details in the sky. Okay, so there isn't much we can do in the sky. We can't regain details in the sky, so I'll just leave the sky like that. And let's see our gene. Can we get some more details on our gene? So okay, this also. So the changes are basically subtle. Let's see the before and after. So this is before and this is after. Okay, and there is one more thing we can add. Let's just go back to our adjustments and add hue and saturation. So we see on our hue and saturation panel, we also see this button here. So it means we can click this button and go in and affect selected colors. Okay, so we can affect these selected colors with our hue and saturation. So let's say we want to affect the red color, so we can click here, either make this more saturated or less saturated. Okay, so I'm just going to make this a little bit more saturated, and it's also with this color here. I want to make it a bit more saturated. Okay, so this is what we had before. Now these changes are really subtle, right? But basically we've drastically improved the look of our image with these little adjustments. Okay, so this is before and this is after. Perfect. Now I'm just going to go ahead and save some of these looks. Okay, I'll just save some of the ones I think are good. So I'll save this one, definitely. I like this look. I'll save this. And for this one, I don't think I'll save this one. This was just experimental. We didn't achieve anything incredible here. Okay, so I'll just close this. No, and also close this. We didn't achieve something so incredible in my opinion. So I'll also close this. Okay, and I'm just going to save these two. So this one and this one. So hit Ctrl S, levels and curves one, save, and levels and curves 2. Perfect. So with this, we've come to the end of our video on curves, and see you in the next one.
Hey, so that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. We post new videos every week covering topics in the fields of graphic design and illustration, motion graphics and video, branding, and more. If you want to support us and get access to exclusive benefits such as the project files we use in our classes, a live chat with us, shoutouts, and more, consider becoming a patron on Patreon. You can join for as little as $3 a month, and the link to our Patreon page is in the description below. And if you want to take your learning to the next level, you can check out the complete course, of which this episode is a part of. And in the complete course, you get access to more than 10 hours of video lessons, project files and resources, class exercises, a Q&A section, a certificate of completion, and more. You can get the course for a special discount by using the link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.